Hi and welcome to this latest video in the series explaining the law of attraction from eternalliberty.com. My name is Dan and I want to help you live the life that you desire.
Mind your inner speech. If you don't change what you are doing today, all of your tomorrows will look like yesterday. Jim Rohn. At the end of the previous chapter on visualizing your dreams, I asked how good or bad are the things you say to yourself through your own internal conversations. You may visualize having great wealth early in the morning, but what if for the remainder of the day you are constantly telling yourself that you do not have money to buy what you want in life? These thoughts, your inner speech, are like weeds growing in the same fertile soil that is your subconscious mind. It is a universal law of nature that a fertile soil will yield growth from whatever seed is planted in that soil. The soil does not choose which are good or which are bad seeds. It treats them as equals. I have to confess up front that this chapter has proved to be one of the toughest and longest chapters I have ever written. This is not because I could not understand or appreciate the importance of one's inner speech. It is because I became confronted with an aspect of understanding the law of attraction that has bothered me for almost 10 years. In all the books I've read on the law of attraction, none of them are able to fully explain this. Even Neville Goddard, whom I consider the greatest teacher on this subject of the age, comes close but does not fully explain it. And it is this. Many teachers will present a technical method to manifest your desires you want to fulfill in your life using the law of attraction. And my process in Chapter 7 is based on Neville Goddard's. Yet how many of us have experienced many bad and negative events in our lives, and we are absolutely certain that we did not use the same technical method in a negative way to manifest these bad experiences. If I look back, I see I manifested bad events all too easily without any formal process. After much thought and meditation, I believe I can finally close the circle on this, as I will explain by the end of this chapter. If you can hold thoughts of what you desire with faith and persistence, you will manifest what you desire. Your inner speech, or the conversations you hold with yourself in your head, are a very important and powerful way to understand if you believe you will manifest what it is you desire. However, simply changing the words you use when you talk to yourself will not on its own improve your faith. You need to mind your inner speech. One of the most important aspects of using the law of attraction is the internal conversations you have with yourself every day. You may spend several minutes at night using the manifestation process, but what if you then spend several hours of the day having doubts in the forms of intermittent conversations with yourself on not having what you desire, much of which is repeated from one day to the next? All day, every day, you have thoughts which by the law of attraction manifest events, people and circumstances in your life. You have imagined thoughts, which are new thoughts, or you have old thoughts brought to your conscious by the subconscious, which are past experiences projected into the future. For example, you may have been fired in a previous job, and so when you begin a new job, it is natural to project your past experience into thoughts of being fired from your new job. We habitually have more of the latter, often in the form of limiting beliefs, because in our society we are not used to the importance of controlling our thoughts in the knowledge they manifest events in our world. We all have random and intermittent thoughts every day, and it would be impossible to examine and control each and every one of them if we have as many as 60,000-70,000 of them. We can, however, look at our inner speech and identify if our conversations lead us to continuous periods of positive thinking or negative thinking. In the manifestation of a free cup of coffee, back in Chapter 7, the concept of inner speech is largely ignored. The reason the manifestation process is likely to attract you a free cup of coffee is that you are unlikely to spend time during the day having internal conversations of negative thinking or doubts because you are too busy thinking of other, more important things. A free cup of coffee is unlikely to really matter that much in your life. Every day we all have thousands of thoughts. Many of these thoughts, good or bad, are brought to your conscious by your subconscious mind. For instance, you are driving on the road and you see a red signal. You realize almost instantaneously the signal means stop because your subconscious reminds you of the law. You will then just as quickly forget this thought. You will, however, have each day many thoughts that will continue in the form of an internal dialogue. You may have a job interview next week or an important business presentation to give, and you are imagining new thoughts about what to say or what the outcome might be. It is quite likely that you will remember previous experiences, good or bad, and you will project them into the event next week. It is not so much the words that you say, but the beliefs you have that influence your words. Your inner speech is one of the most important means you have to understand your beliefs, and hence the experiences you manifest in your outer world. It seems rational, therefore, that the law of attraction must be manifesting you the people, events and circumstances in your life, whether good or bad, through the beliefs behind your inner speech. So why is it then that we can manifest bad experiences without a formal process, yet we seem to require a manifestation technique to manifest the good things we desire? For some of you, this chapter will provide the biggest aha moment of your whole journey in understanding the law of attraction. Before looking more deeply into our inner speech, it will be useful to look again at the law of attraction and, therefore, understand why we can manifest negative experiences without using a formal process. Recall from previous chapters that the subconscious mind is a perfect memory of all your life's events and experiences, and is 10 times more powerful than your conscious mind, as well as constantly maintaining your bodily functions such as the heartbeat. Your subconscious is always trying to maintain your outer world experiences in accordance with previous events and experiences. It does this by reminding you of the previous outcomes, by recording thoughts of how you felt at that time, good or bad. One of the most important reasons we do not manifest what we want is that we are made to believe from childhood that we only get what we want in life by manipulating people, events and circumstances in our outer physical world. Instead, in the law of attraction, we manifest through our inner world, and it is only by working with our thoughts can we manifest what we want in our outer world. Our thoughts emit vibrations into the outer world which manifest people, events and circumstances, like for like, in accordance with our thoughts. We have somewhere between 60 to 70,000 thoughts every day. Yet most thoughts are the same every day through habitual ways of thinking or beliefs. Beliefs are simply patterns of old thoughts the subconscious mind brings to your conscious mind by running programs stored in us from the age of 7, many of which are limiting beliefs. At any given time, we are conscious of only 0.0000005% of that observed by our human senses of our outer physical world. Your subconscious mind only lets you observe that which is in accordance with your beliefs. Therefore, to manifest anything in your life requires you to be that person on the inside who already has what you want. We manifest what we believe, not what we want. You need to believe you are the person who already has what you desire. To understand the law is to understand that thoughts attract things, and it is only our thoughts that are the causes of our life experiences. If you do not yet believe this, then now is a very good time to begin. Your conscious mind has the role of gatekeeper to allow only good and positive thoughts to enter the subconscious, and therefore to block bad and negative thoughts from entering. Your subconscious mind is always working and will act upon all thoughts given to it. The more you remove old programs that attract things you do not want and replace them with new programs that attract things you do want, then the faster and more abundant will be the flow of things you desire. For this and the next few chapters, we will again use the analogy of the gardener sowing seeds into soil, where the soil is our subconscious mind, and the seeds are our thoughts that will manifest people, events and circumstances into our outer world, whether good or bad. We will consider thoughts that manifest the things we desire and want to be good seeds, and the thoughts that manifest the bad and negative experiences to be weeds. In life, any of our 60 to 70,000 daily thoughts could be good seeds, or bad seeds that produce weeds sown into the soil. Any worthy gardener, however, would both look after the soil and ensure only good seeds are sown. Also, that good soil is maintained by repeatedly removing all weeds. If, however, the garden is not looked after, it is likely that tough, persistent weeds will dominate and throttle any good seeds sown. This is the meaning of the parable of the sower in the New Testament Gospels. One of the easiest ways to reprogram the subconscious mind with new beliefs is by repetition of patterns of thoughts in a drowsy state just prior to falling asleep. This is in effect the manifestation process explained in this and other books. However, if the soil is not looked after and the existing weeds are tough and persistent, more weeds will take root and any good seed will be throttled. More weeds means more bad experiences life will continue. We therefore need to tend to the soil to keep it healthy, to remove as many weeds as possible, and to ensure only good seeds of what we want are sown. We will look further into this again once we have considered some real-life examples of manifesting. One of the most important truths about what you say to yourself is that it is the truth, or it is what you believe to be true, and it is important to realize your subconscious mind will take you at your word. Whatever you say to yourself in your inner speech, corresponding seeds will be sown in the soil. As we have just looked at, we can consider an internal conversation to be a continuous chain of thoughts on the same or similar subject. These thoughts could be old, habitual thoughts or new, imagined thoughts. Having been a student of the law of attraction for many years now, through thick and thin, I came to realize that I needed to improve how I spoke to myself, by assuming I were one of my own best friends. In other words, I needed to learn to treat myself in a polite, courteous, and encouraging manner in the same way I will treat others. Do you do this? You have an accident and then criticize yourself afterwards for what happened, like it was your fault. Perhaps you knocked a drink over or dropped something on the floor. You immediately say to yourself, "I'm such a clumsy idiot," or maybe worse. Perhaps you say to yourself, "I knew that would happen." Such statements represent your internal beliefs and sow seeds for future events to unfold. Are you really an idiot? Of course you are not. But how often do you criticize yourself like this on the inside? Talk to yourself negatively and you attract bad things. Talk to yourself positively and you attract good things. Now look about you where you are now. If you are at home, for example, see your house, your furniture, your books or pictures, etc. Each of these first started as a thought. Someone visualized them all, designed them using their imagination, and then had them made. Someone imagined packaging them for retail and selling them in a shop. You imagined these items in place at home, and eventually you bought them. The fundamental truth behind all of these is that they all started off as thoughts by somebody before they became reality. But wait, I hear you say, I do not need to use the manifestation process to attract things such as furniture, books, etc. Yes, you are right. But here is the difference. You did visualize them first and sow seeds into your mind. Your subconscious will remember previous purchasing experiences and provide you with thoughts of previous events such as a good shop to buy them from. Key to this is that your subconscious is unlikely to recall any negative experiences unless you are heavily in debt, and thereby no weeds will grow to throttle the good seed of what you want. Most of your purchasing experiences will be positive, and you will in effect manifest them through your inner conversations about going on shopping trips. Your inner speech supports your belief that you will get what you desire without a formal manifestation process. Above all, you have the faith to believe they would manifest because you have done it before. Consider instead that you want a new car, but it is bigger and better than you have ever had before. You may now decide to adopt the manifestation process as per Chapter 7. The monthly payments may be more than you have ever had to pay before, so you have concerns. So you keep repeating the manifestation process over several days or weeks, perhaps sitting down in the same chair to do so. You imagine you believe you persevere with getting this bigger and better car. Then one day it is parked outside the front of your house. Again, your inner speech supports your faith and belief in manifesting the car. Your internal conversations may have led you to seek promotion at work, and the higher salary allows you to finance a car. You may visit a number of showrooms and you get involved in finance arrangements that make a new car affordable. You find it relatively straightforward to believe you are the person who already has a new car in manifesting it. Early on, you have doubts surface from the subconscious on the affordability of the monthly payments, but the manifestation process sows good seeds amongst the weeds of old thoughts about not having enough money. Eventually, your new positive imagined thoughts crowd out the old thoughts of doubts, and the car materializes. Alternatively, that shiny brand new sporty Lamborghini you so desire is not parked outside. In the case of desiring a Lamborghini, how will your internal conversations proceed? You might start off using the manifestation process with strong conviction, but then as the days, weeks, months take hold, what are you saying to yourself? It is likely you are to catch yourself saying that you cannot afford one. The weeds in your subconscious start to grow and get stronger. You may have an internal conversation of going down to a dealer, but you find it extremely difficult to convince the salesperson you can afford a Lamborghini with your imagination. Your internal dialogue gets ever more negative and spirals downwards. The weeds are too strong. There is another important element to this example. Do you really want a Lamborghini? Are you sure you do not want instead the satisfaction of driving a prestige sports car because of the status of power and wealth it gives you? So it is the status you really desire, not the car, which is just a symbol. Therefore, you need to manifest the status and be this person rather than have any worldly goods that suggest it. Otherwise, your subconscious mind will find you out and the weeds will grow quickly. So given the insight these three examples provide us, how do we revisit the manifestation process and understand how to use it with more power and success? The next section explains this, and you will see that your inner speech is your guide to helping you manifest your desires. How to control your thoughts. The previous section should inform you that it is the nature of your inner speech that manifests experiences in your outer world, not the use of a specific manifestation process by itself. It is more important to control your thoughts, as they are seeds that will manifest events in your life, whether good or bad. We attract into our lives the physical manifestations of the thoughts we think, and in order to attract good instead of bad, we must learn to control our thinking, to think positively instead of negatively. We must always choose good thoughts and immediately stop any bad thoughts. To control your thoughts into people, events and circumstances in your life is to constantly examine your inner speech with discipline. This section provides a summary of what you need to do to use the law of attraction to your advantage, and it will take the final 3 chapters of part 2 of the book to fully guide you. I believe this detail is necessary, as this is where the gap in current teaching on the law of attraction is most apparent. In terms of the soil that is the subconscious, and the sowing of seeds that are good thoughts, we need to ensure the soil is framed to protect it from external weeds, that the soil itself is free of old weeds, and that only good seeds of what we want are sown. All 3 chapters that follow are equally important, not just the manifestation process on its own, and their contents all need to be adopted alongside each other. Framing the soil. In this first part, we will form an impenetrable frame around our soil by creating the person we want to be inside. Not the person we are going to be, but the belief that we are that person now. We will adopt the practice of using affirmations to develop your faith that you are the person you want to be now. These frames will be known as states of consciousness, which is a term used by many teachers, including Neville Goddard. We will identify this by understanding who we want to be and accordingly choose affirmations that support this. Key to this is ensuring your affirmations are believable. Thereby we prevent any weeds growing in our soil from outside that are not supportive of who we want to be and believe. More next chapter. Sowing only good seeds. Success with the law of attraction involves both stopping those thoughts that create the life you do not want and having a majority of thoughts to create the life you do want. It means the vast majority of your daily thoughts need to be positive and in favour of what you desire. Thus we look to sow seeds of only what we do want and within the frame of who we want to be. This requires you to watch your inner speech all day and every day. Yes, it takes discipline. Fortunately, there is a large number of techniques that are easy to learn and use every day, and this includes the manifestation process. Once you are using these regularly, you will be having more internal conversations of what you do desire, rather than those of negative experiences. Your thoughts will be dominated of already having what you desire. Removing weeds from the soil. This final part is the cleansing of the soil to remove old weeds of past memories that otherwise would manifest bad negative experiences. Many of these thoughts manifest due to limiting beliefs programmed into us from our parents and society. The reason you can manifest bad negative events without a process is because your subconscious can readily and all too easily provide you with memories of similar bad experiences. Some of these negative memories comprise deeply repressed emotions which can manifest as illness and chronic medical conditions. In Chapter 14, we will look at something known as letting go. I'm going to refer you to a book called Letting Go by David Hawkins. It is without doubt the best book of this type I've read in the last 10 years. It is not specifically a book on the law of attraction, but it is more powerful than many others I have read. It will enable you to release deeply buried memories in the form of repressed emotional energy. In some cases, healing of a disabling illness results, as I will personally testify. I cannot emphasize enough the power of what you can learn from this book, and encourage you to read it now and before we get to this chapter. So all of our daily 60 to 70,000 thoughts manifest people, events and circumstances in our life. Any negative thought can manifest a bad experience, and it does not need the manifestation process to do this. The law of attraction is always working and needs no formal process. It is our inner speech that really determines what we manifest in our outer physical world. Or to be more accurate, it is the emotion and belief behind what we say within ourselves that reveals who we truly are and which will manifest outwards. If we do not like the events we manifest, then we only need examine our thoughts revealed to us by our inner conversations. You will know from your emotions if you like something or not. Change your thoughts and you change your world. When we have a thought, good or bad, the subconscious mind looks for evidence from your previous experiences to respond to the current thought. This triggers more thoughts, forming an internal conversation with yourself. It is quite likely that you had this same thought yesterday and the day before. With programs of limiting beliefs instilled in us from the age of 7, such as "you do not deserve this" or "you are not good enough," the subconscious all too easily brings to your conscious thoughts of what you do not want. If the soil that is your subconscious mind is full of weeds of negative, unwanted things, then it is prone to growing more weeds, and any good seeds are very unlikely to flourish. These weeds are nurtured and fed over the years by us because we are ignorant of the cause and effect of the law of attraction. We reacted to outer world events with our emotions, sending out negative vibrations to affirm them, rather than creating new positive vibrations of thoughts of what we do want to manifest the life we desire. There is no gain in trying to understand, rationalize, or explain to yourself or anybody else what is going on in your outer world, as you are simply trying to justify it rather than change it. To manifest your desires, the vibrations you emit have to change inside. In trying to explain to yourself why your outer world is what it is, you are resisting change. You are resisting the manifestation of your desires. You must focus your attention to how something feels emotionally, rather than the conditions that led to the experience in the first place. This is the cause and effect. The cause of the experiences is your thoughts, not the people, events or circumstances that give rise to it in your outer world. So focus your attention on controlling your thoughts and not the outer world experiences. To explain away an experience is to relinquish control. Talk to yourself as if you will be successful at everything. Talk to yourself as if you are already successful and believe inside you already have your desires. There is no better way to recognize if you are that person on the inside who believes you have what you desire than if your inner speech is confirming it back to you. To manifest what you truly desire, you need to change your internal beliefs from within. Your inner talk, your inner dialogue, affirms who you are. It affirms where your mind is in terms of the person you want to be. Therefore, if your inner speech is telling you something different, then you need to change it. Over the next 3 chapters, you will find the power and belief to carry on internal conversations from the perspective of already having what you desire become readily available. Your inner speech will continue with more positive thoughts of a like-for-like nature until manifestation actually occurs. If something happens in your outer world that upsets you, or we have thoughts that make us feel bad emotionally, this is a signal to change your thoughts. Choose a new positive thought instead. To complete this chapter, you will be invited to go on a diet of just positive thoughts for a minimum of 28 days. The instructions are simply to stop yourself whenever you think or say something negative. This aims to demonstrate just how many negative thoughts and conversations you have within yourself, and you may well be flabbergasted. To manifest using the law of attraction is to speak to yourself from the wish fulfilled. You will realize after this exercise just how often you are not. When Neville Goddard was first learning how to manifest in the way that he does, he explained how he manifested travel to Barbados. He had a mentor who was telling him he was already in Barbados a long time before it actually happened. If Neville said anything otherwise, the mentor corrected him. We probably will not have a friend quite like that, so we need to adopt our inner speech to be that friend. Now you're going to be asked to do a self-examination of your own inner speech, and I ask that you be honest with yourself. You're going to have to be conscious of your inner talking and your thoughts. Take the time to be conscious of what you say to yourself. Remember, you can manifest anything you desire if you have the faith to believe it on the inside. Having faith means you believe you are the person who already has what you want to manifest. And to get to this point starts by having internal conversations from this perspective. There will be much more on faith and believing in the next chapter. You are now invited to complete an exercise to help you appreciate just how many negative thoughts you have each day and to stop them. It is termed a mental diet. In the long run, however, this is not the best approach to manifest your desires. It is better to replace negative thoughts with positive inner conversations, using more powerful approaches that are longer lasting, which we will develop in the next 3 chapters. As we have seen, it is our inner speech that really determines what we manifest in our outer physical world. Less so the actual words we say, but more so the emotion and belief behind what we say within ourselves that reveals who we truly are and which we will manifest outwards. Carry on an inner speech which is negative, and you so cease to produce negative experiences. We need to control our inner dialogue to ensure it is positive if we are to manifest our desires. All of our daily thoughts manifest people, events and circumstances in our life. Any negative thought can manifest a bad experience, and it does not need the manifestation process to do this. The law of attraction is always working and needs no formal process. You must train your thinking to support your belief that you are the person who already has what you wish to manifest. Controlling your inner speech leads to controlling your thoughts. This leads to you taking control of your life. If you decide that it is easy to do, then it is. If you choose that it will be difficult, then it will be. There is no wrong answer. Learn to relate experiences in your outer world to your inner speech, and you will master the law of attraction. Today, if you are not satisfied with the world in which you live, blame nobody but yourself, and turn within to the power that is yours. For within you can create your life using your inner speech. When you consciously choose your inner dialogue and tailor it to your dreams and desires, it is like watering good seeds of the thoughts that lead to manifesting what you want. As we said, it is unlikely you will have an internal conversation to put doubt in you to not manifest a free cup of coffee using the manifestation process. When you start trying to manifest something you highly desire, however, this is almost certain to not be the case. By its very nature, it is something you do not have, and your subconscious mind will constantly remind you of this to maintain the status of not having. We therefore need to rid the soil of old weeds of disbelief, and we will look at this in chapters that follow. Remember, the law of attraction is always working. If your attitude is one of positive or negative expectations, you will get what you ask for through your expectation of it. Like attracts like. It is the law. If you truly want to have the great life you dream about, you must take responsibility for your life and exercise discipline with your inner speech. So take responsibility and always speak to yourself positively. If you want to manifest more significant, life-changing dreams and desires into your life, you need to change the way you think and speak to yourself. I did and do every second of the day by habit now. It works. A note of caution. The manifestation process is, consequently, not to be considered as a magic pill that you can just swallow every time you have a problem. If you do have a serious issue to resolve, then meditation would be a better and more reliable practice to adopt in this circumstance. Meditation calms the mind if exercised properly, and you will gain clarity over the way forward by thinking more clearly. Otherwise, seek expert professional help. In the popular media, there are some so-called manifestation techniques that promise great results in minutes, or sometimes even less. I cautiously guard against using them. They may work for one person in a million, but otherwise they do not take into account the status of the person's belief and current patterns of thinking. To believe such things is to believe that by buying a packet of seeds and sprinkling them onto soil, in any state of health, you will manifest a garden full of flowers. No account has been made to the quality and health of the soil, which is the subconscious mind. As we have seen in this chapter, it is not the manifestation process alone that determines your life's experiences. The soil itself needs to be healthy and free of weeds, which are old negative thoughts.